A man who had just gotten off work was only having a quick bite when something major happened outside. He hurried out to take a look and found that all the pedestrians on the street were looking up at the sky. Following their gaze, he saw a massive dark cloud in the distance that blocked out the sun, pressing down on the horizon like an inverted abyss. The curious man rushed to the backyard, wanting to see more clearly. The closer he got to the eye of the storm, the fiercer the wind became. Even more bizarre was that the wind was actually flowing backward toward the eye of the storm, and the faint light seeping through the dark cloud suggested that this incident was far from simple. Sure enough, the next second the fierce wind suddenly stopped, the surrounding noise instantly disappeared, and the world seemed to have been muted at that moment. Lightning began striking even more violently. At first, he casually comforted his daughter that it was nothing. When lightning struck right in front of him, he quickly took his daughter and fled back into the house. At this point, they had not yet realized the severity of the problem. He frantically hid under the table with his daughter, while outside the window, lightning was repeatedly striking the same spot. After a long while, the lightning gradually subsided. When he came downstairs, he discovered that all the electrical appliances and electronic devices in the house were no longer working at this time. The street had also descended into chaos, with panic cars randomly parked on the roadside and fear spreading among the people. He found his son Robbie in the crowd as Robbie was rushing home, and learned from Robbie that lightning had struck the same spot near the church on Lincoln Avenue 26 times in a row, creating a deep crater in the ground. He told Robbie to go home first to look after his sister while he went to Lincoln Avenue to see what was happening. When he arrived, Lincoln Avenue was already packed with people. He pushed through the crowd and found that the crater created by the lightning was still emitting rolling hot steam, and the scattered debris around it had crystallized under the terrifying high temperature. Suddenly, someone noticed that the crater was vibrating before anyone could react. The ground began cracking rapidly outward from the crater as the Centerpoint 2 police officers tried to disperse the crowd of onlookers. Most people still chose to stay and watched at this moment. The ground cracking accelerated dramatically. The moment the church spire crashed into the pit, the ground heaved like breathing, then collapsed with a thunderous roar, as if something was breaking through the earth that a car by the roadside had just slid into the deep crater when it was launched out by a powerful force the next second. Then, the watching crowd saw a massive creature slowly rising from the deep crater. The man finally saw clearly that it was an enormous steel triangular beast. Someone eager to capture this moment tried to take a photo, only to die the next second under the laser beam fired by the triangular beast. Seeing the situation was wrong, he immediately ran home frantically, while the buildings behind him quickly collapsed and disintegrated upon contact with the laser, turning into ruins. When he returned home, he collapsed on the ground, unable to say a word, seeing their father covered in dust. The children were curious about what had happened. He didn't explain and hurried to the bathroom. He didn't want to believe what he had just seen was real, yet the truth was right before his eyes. After he calmed down, he packed his luggage as quickly as possible, and before leaving, he also took his treasured revolver. This time, people on the street were all fleeing in panic. He took his children to a friend's auto repair shop and picked out a repaired car, preparing to escape. As soon as he finished speaking, flames had already lit up the street behind them.